Hey guys, welcome to my first video on the Financial Bull channel. So in this video, I just want to give a bit of an introduction and background, as well as give you guys reasoning and inspiration behind creating this channel. I've always had a passion for finance, so always trying to find different ways of making money and passive income, recurring income is something that I'm truly passionate about. And I think the stock market is a great way to not only increase your wealth, but to generate recurring income. And so I just want to go through my journey, show you guys the plays that I'm making, the stocks that I'm purchasing, advice, just tips about finance in general. I have been in the stock market for for about 8 years, but it's always been on and off. I never was in the market for a very prolonged time. The last time I was actually invested in the stock market was back in 2013, and I was just dabbling. It wasn't something that I was committed to, and I was kind of an amateur, so I was just getting into the stock market. But just recently, once we got into this crash or recession back in March, I started getting back into the market. I actually had funds in a high yield saving account, and I decided to take that money out and actually put it to better use as the interest rates were falling and we were having the huge crash back in March and February. So my strategy has changed. Before, I was mostly trying to invest in safe blue chip companies, dividend stocks, but now I've actually changed my strategy. I just recently got into options and predominantly selling options, so cash secured puts and covered calls. Once I found about this strategy, I actually was very intrigued and interested, and doing research, watching YouTube videos, I kind of got a hang of it. And for the past month and a half, I've actually been selling cash secured puts and doing some covered calls as well. Let me go over my portfolio with you guys before I get to the options, so you guys can see what stocks I'm holding right now. So right now, currently, I have 101 shares of Microsoft. This was actually a really recent play. Microsoft actually dipped a lot in the past 2 days, so it was hovering around 215 at its peak, and just recently today, this morning, it got to a low of 202.93 here. And as you can see, my average cost is 209.27. I started buying up shares at about 211. The reason why I got into Microsoft is actually I've been learning more about technical analysis and going into the expand view here in Robinhood. You can see that the RSI here was really oversold. So Microsoft was being really oversold in the past day and also as well as today. And I just saw a huge dip. They even passed below the 50-day moving average. And so I saw an opportunity to get into. Microsoft and actually do a swing trade. So what I'm planning to do is I'm anticipating we're having a green day tomorrow, and Microsoft is going to go up. What I'm planning to do is sell some covered calls on Microsoft. So right now, the premiums have gone down since the previous days, but I believe as soon as we get a green day tomorrow, we're going to have some really nice premiums, especially if we get a little bit of a spike. And I'm planning to do a 215 strike price depending on what the premium is. So that'll be one of the plays that I'll do tomorrow. And going back here, my next stock that I own is Facebook. Same thing, I just saw that Facebook was being oversold and it was getting below the 240 mark. So I started buying up some Facebook shares. I have about 39 shares with an average cost of $239.98. So I'm expecting the same thing to happen tomorrow. So going down the list here, I do have 100 shares of Uber. I was doing cash secured puts on it. Eventually I got called, so I have 100 shares of Uber. Uber, I have average cost of $33.50. So I've been doing covered calls on Uber. Right now, I haven't seen any good premiums on Uber to do the cash covered calls, so I'm just gonna wait till tomorrow. If we do have a green day, I'll probably do a covered call on Uber. And MFA is another stock. I got about 5,200 shares of MFA. They're a mortgage REIT. They got hit really hard, especially with this crash with the pandemic going on. They hit a low of just under 40 cents, 36 cents. So I started buying them. My average cost is about 241. I did do a cover call on MFA, and I've actually got pretty good premium. They've kind of lost a little bit of volatility, so the premiums haven't been that great, although compared to most of the other stocks, they give really good premium. So just going through the history here, my covered call. So just going here, I can show you guys my covered call. So at the time, I only had about 35 shares, so I sold 35 contracts, and with the expiration date of 7/17, so July 17th, and that's coming up this Friday. I've actually held on to this contract for about a month, a little bit more, and I got 35 cents credit premium for selling this covered call with a $5 strike price. So my average cost, as you guys saw, was about 240, 241. So I'd be more than happy to let my shares go at the $5 strike price, which I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen by this Friday. So once that expires and we get a little bit more volatility, I'm probably going to sell another covered call, and I do have more shares right now. So I have about 5,200 shares, so I'll be able to sell 52 contracts, which will be really nice. So going back, I'm also bag holding Wells Fargo here. Got about 100 shares of Wells Fargo with a average cost of $29.50, and Wells Fargo hasn't been doing too well with the earnings that they had this morning. They pretty much dipped pretty hard. I have been trying to do some covered calls on them, but in the past few weeks, the premiums haven't been that good, but I've been just trying to get whatever I can pretty much grab a hold of. So last week I did a covered call with a $28.50 strike price. I got about $17, so I'll probably hold on to that till this Friday. until it expires. Going back here, we can keep going down. Same thing. I have Toll Brothers. Win. I do have Win. I bought them back in April in the lows, so I did have a lower average cost here. But I did decide to purchase more shares just because I wanted to do covered calls, sell covered calls on Win here. So that's why I did end up purchasing a little bit more in a dip. I believe we had a dip here in yep, in the end of June, and I did purchase some at like $71. So that kind of brought my average cost up. So right now my average cost is still pretty low, 65.26. So I'm going to continue doing some covered calls, and in fact I have one right now which I did at a really bad time because I'm probably going to get my shares called away. It's at an $81 strike price, and I got about $72 credit, and now the contract's worth about $251. So we'll see. If we get a dip, it'll be nice. I get to hold on to my shares. If not, then my shares will be called away, and I can go back and do a cash secured put on Win, and possibly at a 81 or lower strike price if the stock doesn't skyrocket. We'll see. All right, and then going down, I do have MGM as well at an average cost of $21. And then we have AT&T, and I have a average cost of $32. Got them at a good time because I held on to the shares past the ex-dividend date. So I'm gonna get a nice $52 dividend from AT&T by August 3rd, which is nice. And I do have a covered call which is at my average cost of $32 at a $32 strike price, and I'm pretty sure that's gonna expire worthless. So we'll see by Friday what's gonna happen. And then I do have some Starbucks. I have an average cost of $78.55. I have 112 shares of them, and I have been doing some covered calls with them, although the premiums have been pretty low with Starbucks as well, but I've been trying to get whatever I can. And lastly, I do have American Airlines. And American Airlines, I have an average cost of $16. I do have a covered call. I sold a contract for about $5. And that's at the $15 strike price. I did get pretty good premium when I did a cash secured put on American Airlines. I got about $96, so that's why my strike price is about $1 lower than my average cost. I just want to get out of some of these stocks. So I've been bag holding a few of these stocks for a couple weeks now, so I'm ready to get rid of them even at my cost with the premium. So I'm just waiting. We'll see what happens tomorrow, but we did get the news about the vaccine from Moderna. So we'll see what happens in the market tomorrow. I'm pretty optimistic, and I have a good feeling that tomorrow we're going to have a nice green day. So the futures right now, they are all up. So the Dow's up 278 points, NASDAQ 55.25, and S&P about 25.50. So that's looking pretty good. We'll have to see what's going to happen tomorrow in the market. But this was my first video. I just wanted to give you guys some background about my portfolio, where I'm standing, and I hope to come out with some more videos for you guys and get some engagement going and get my channel started. So if this is something you guys are interested in, please subscribe to my channel and like this video. and look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Take care.